What's up, guys? So as you can see, the dollar has pumped into the upside and Euro USD has been falling into the downside, and I'm inside these three trades which are running quite nicely in profit. So this is a weekly outlook. I'm going to go over some main pairs for this week, what you still could be trading, and it is based on fundamentals, but of course also technicals as well. So starting off on the dollar, we can see that right now we had a huge bump into the upside. I waited for this to happen. So basically we had FOMC tonight. The FOMC itself, the rate decision, didn't really move the markets a lot. If I go back to the 5 minutes, you'll see that in here, I think right over here, we just move a little bit. That's because we had a 25 base point rate cut, which was already priced in inside the market. People expected this, so the markets really did not change anything. But what did also people try to predict was the next rate decision, and they anticipated for the next time another rate cut. But now Powell mentioned that he actually is far away from another cut next time, and that's why the market is pumping, because if we're leaning to rate cuts, dollar will trade down lower, and rate hikes will mean dollar will trade up higher. So that's the reason, because now we're far away from rate cuts, meaning we're closer to rate hikes or staying neutral, which is pumping this market because we had 2 rate cuts priced in. So the dollar for this week, the rest of this week, I just see it basically pumping. So if you would want to be in dollar longs, I would say wait for a retracement and then trade up higher. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're just going to pump up higher, and you should have already been in the trades like I mentioned in the beginning of this week. So just before this news event, I anticipate something along these lines to happen. So what did I do? I bought some USD CAD. As you can see, perfectly bottom ticked it right at this weekly or daily liquidity, I think. Let's go to the weekly. Yeah, so it's kind of a bit weekly liquidity, but basically what can we see? Well, of course, we traded back into this refined demand zone over here, and we grabbed that liquidity. I decided to enter off of that. You also have the quarterly level, and now now for me, we can just keep on trading up higher. So we grab liquidity at this high, then at the bottom, but overall the order flow is bullish. So we should now continue to trade up higher, especially with a bullish dollar, and also with a quite weak CAD as well, because the Canadian dollar or the Canadians are leaning towards more rate cuts next time. So then we have USD against the Yuan, which I also bottom ticked, as you can see over here. So what happened is we saw a huge sell-off from these prices, from the quarterly levels. As you can see, I took this one and this trade, and here I decided to close it. Why? First of all, we have FOMC, which I expected to be bullish for the dollar, and tomorrow we have trade talks from with Trump and Xi, and that could mean, in my opinion, that we see some retracement. So why did I went short on USD Yuan? I explained inside my weekly outlook, but basically because I was expecting some hype to be around the trade talks that were going to happen tomorrow. But as you can see, for me, this now is oversold because I'm also not so expecting a very good deal. So what did I do? I sold, in this case, the rumor, and right now I'm buying the news, and I think we will not have that good of a deal tomorrow. Maybe just a little deal, but overall not the best deal, which will drive this one a little bit up higher, because for me it's oversold, because people are just expecting way too much from this deal. Then we have Euro USD. As you can see, Euro USD, I'm inside this trade here for almost a month right now, looking great. Right here I have another payout, doesn't really matter, but I've set this one on break even. Then I'm also inside this one, which I took, I think, previous week. Yes, I trade this all the way down into this low, so I'm still going to need to hold this for like over a month or something along those lines, but at least like we should trade all the way down here, because here we have equal lows, here we have some liquidity. So once we are down here, so basically when I hit TP for my first trade, then I think I'm going to set this bigger trade on break even, because then we could maybe see a reversal in line with the overall trend, or we could just continue to trade down lower. So that's my game plan for now. Then you can see I have also this scale in here on the 1 hour. I'll explain it as well, which almost hit TP, had a little rejection, but as I mentioned, the dollar should just keep on rising, so this pair should keep on dumping, at least to this low and even lower. And this one is for my max allocation with the trading pit. I truly recommend the trading pit. It's the best challenge out there, the best prop firm. They answer really quick, but I'm not going to talk about too much about them. But that's my number one prop firm at the moment, and I definitely do recommend them. So as you can see, this morning I saw this supply, or in like during when I was eating dinner, I saw this supply, and I saw the daily open, the weekly previous weekly open, but more importantly, we had a strong high. So what happened yesterday is we saw a sell-off from this liquidity, breaking the fractal low, indicating that people or sellers got into the market and they were expecting to trade down from the supply. But then we traded up higher and we swiped their stop losses because their stop losses were above this high. We swiped them, so we created a strong high here, which swiped early sellers, and then we got a candle close here at the 4-hour fractal. And then, because I was also expecting a bullish dollar here on this FOMC, I then decided to this morning, like at 12, I don't know when I entered, at 11 a.m. This morning, I decided to enter off of this supply zone and my stop loss above this safe high. You can see we trade up higher to grab some more liquidity. Overall, it respected this high like I expected it to do. And then I just target all of these trendline liquidity lows in order for me to get my max allocation. So very, very clean trade, as you can see. Euro USD, if you would like to re-enter off of this, I would say possibly look at this supply here. Let's see if we get a pullback after grabbing this liquidity, something like this, to that weekly open, and then you could definitely look for some 1-hour fractal change in order to then short down lower toward these lows if we do not just drop down lower. All right. So then what am I else looking at? Well, of course, GBP USD also has fell off into the downside like we also expected to. This first trade where I'm in for like a month just hit take profit. This one should also hit take profit. I had my take profit at these equal lows, as you can see. We should just keep on dropping. So right now, from these big equal lows, am I expecting a reaction? Possibly, but then again, the pond is really weak and the dollar is now quite bullish. So I'm not recommending you to trade the pullback up higher. Okay, unless if we have a lot of confirmation really breaking like multiple structures into the downside, the fundamentals may be switching up. I will make a video on Sunday again to talk about this, and maybe then we could take a little pullback, but overall I'm still in favor of some shorts possibly until the fundamentals change. So nothing much as of now though, because a lot of pairs have been moving. Looking at some pairs like Euro Yen, Euro Swiss, like the Swiss pairs, the Yen pairs, AD pairs, all of these pairs, don't really think that they are the best to trade right now, because tomorrow we have trade talks and everything could happen. So now my main focus is on these dollar pairs. So AUD though is quite interesting. So first of all, my personal opinion, I'm not saying this will happen, is that tomorrow with the trade talks, there will be a way smaller deal than that there is expected, and maybe even there's a chance of no deal, because I don't see what China wants from the US. So with that in mind, you can see that this week the AED rised up all the way into the quarterly levels. Why? Because they were expecting a very big trade talk, right? But or like a trade deal to happen, which is pushing AED up higher, because this is a risk on pair. If you don't know what that is, make sure to comment down below and I'll make a video about risk on and risk off. But then you'll see that from that weekly or like quarterly open and monthly open, you see a big reaction, yes, with FOMC, but a reaction is a reaction. And then we respect this high of this overall supply zone, which takes out liquidity. So this might indicate that this supply is quite strong and could be pushing this pair down lower. So as you can see, this also for me is quite a strong high, as well as this high, because now we respected it. Gotta see if we push down lower or right now just continue up higher. But overall, this high grabs a lot of liquidity above all of these highs. And look how much liquidity we have at all of these lows. And then from this supply, you see that a reaction at the moment. And I think I'm also inside, I am inside this trade, but I think this one could be trading down lower tomorrow with a less good deal than expected. I could see people flow into safe havens again and out of risk on pairs, so out of AUD back into risk havens like yen and the Swiss franc, and then this could trade down lower to take out all of these lows. So that's what I'm expecting as of now. I think you definitely have some opportunities on AUD/USD. Again, this is not a very high probability setup because yes, technically it aligns with all of these open lows on the higher time frame, but if you really look at the chart or like at the fundamentals, you're basically gambling on the talks tomorrow. So if you're not experienced with fundamentals, definitely would not recommend. And also if you're not able or mindset wise not able to catch a loss on AUD/USD when it's not actually super A plus, because of the high risk it has with the talks, because the talks, they could do everything and anything, and price could also just shoot up with a crazy deal, which I think is highly unlikely, because if there is an amazing deal, that is basically already priced in. So price should just give a little move up higher, not much. So I don't see a lot of upside, do see a lot of downside possibility, but still it's quite risky. But that's what I'm expecting for AUD/USD. I also know some friends of mine who are inside NZD/USD because of the same matter, and as you can see, like guys, it's very clear. You grab liquidity at all of these highs and then you just continue to trade down lower with the order flow. Now this supply is clearly in control, and then what do you see? We trade up higher into the quarterly level, and from there you react down lower. What I would like to see in order to take shorts: break the daily fractal, create a new supply zone, get a push into the weekly open, and then from there sell off again into the low and the yearly level later on. I think that could also be for tomorrow, again with NZD, that could, in my opinion, fall down lower because of the tomorrow trade talks. So why am I not in NZD/USD? Because I'm already inside Euro/USD and already inside GBP/USD and already inside AUD/USD. And now I think I already took some profits on GBP/USD, also not yet Euro/USD, almost, but yeah, that's why I'm not inside NZD/USD. I preferred AUD/USD, Euro/USD, and GBP/USD. That's just the reason. Overall, this could very well just trade down lower because we are reacting from a strong low level here. You have a lot of trendline liquidity, which we could take out with the news right now, and then possibly the upcoming news from tomorrow, but that's something we gotta see. So overall, looking then at some oil, what do we see? Yeah, it's kind of stuck over here. Don't really know what I'm up to for gold. I might look for some possible upside overall to these highs, but overall we already grab premium prices and we're seeing a sell-off. So I don't really know fundamentally. I'm not so into oil, so I don't really know what I'm waiting for. Here on gold, I want to see one more swipe of the low, swiping this low over here, maybe tonight, because people are expecting a trade deal, so they go out of safe havens. This will drop. Maybe I want to see a swipe of the low and then tap on the quarterly level, and if we then see an actual change, because right now we see this, this, and this, so no actual change, but if we first break the low, then this becomes your swing high. If we then break that swing high, then I'm looking for gold longs again. As of now, I just feel like downside is possible, but I'm not trading it because for me it could go up and it could go down. I'm going to wait for gold for better price action. Here on copper, I've been mentioning it for a couple of weeks now, but I'm out of it. So reason being why I was in the longs is because I was expecting the trade talks to happen, because I entered when Trump said that the trade talks were not going to happen, but I anticipated that they were going to happen, which I asked ChatGPT, it should be pushing copper up, and it did. So then right now I took my profits because I'm not expecting a very good deal. So tomorrow for me, copper might dump until these prices, maybe even this price. I don't know how far it will dump, but from here I'll try to buy it back if we again see confirmation. So yeah, that's basically it for today, guys. At the moment I cannot really go over a lot of pairs because a lot of pairs are just tricky to analyze, because tomorrow we have the trade talks and deals. So what I would say is don't get into many trades right now, also tomorrow not, because everything could happen. So stay safe, manage your risk, and I'll see you guys on Sunday. Bye.